Welcome to another episode of the Javier and Mo Show. I'm here with the coach, Javier Mendez. How are you today, coach?
I'm doing good. It's been a while, guys. Sorry, it's all Mo's fault. He had an appendix problem. Blech.
Yeah, I've had to get my appendix removed. It's been 3 weeks in recovery. Now we're back without the appendix. Let's see if we're gonna be sharper without it.
You should be sharper, but shouldn't you be taking one more week off? I was okay with that.
I mean, one more week and I can get back to fighting.
Okay, so you're a fighter now. Oh, got it. All right, good deal.
So, guys, we've got a lot of DMs, 24 entries for the 2 tickets for UFC Abu Dhabi. We're going to announce the winners soon, but since it was only 24 entries, we think we should wait for another episode. So this is your last chance to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram and on X, Twitter, and you're going to be qualified to enter the pick a name.
Basically, you can just put them in a bowl and then put your hands in and...
We're going to allow like a computer software to do it.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going to enter everyone's name, whoever subscribed to our YouTube.
So the computer's going to pick.
So there's no favoritism or... it's not picked
unless
by
you
us.
program the computer.
Yeah, why would I know? I'm not winning anything, so I will not do it.
Okay.
So the gift is sponsored by Sharp_Travel. So thank you, Yusuf from Sharp_Travel. That's their Instagram handle. So it's going to be UFC ticket for UFC Abu Dhabi and a hotel stay, and they're offering 2 of those. So 2 different tickets and 2 different hotel stays for 2 different winners. Let's get into the show.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Thank you, Yusuf. So now that Islam and news came out that he's going to welterweight, how do you feel about that?
Well, I feel really good about it, and the reason why I feel really good about it because this is what Islam's been wanting, and unfortunately, it's Belal not having the title that allowed Islam to go after what he wanted. Because if Belal had won, then it would have been one of those situations where it wasn't going to happen. It's either Belal would go up to 185 and Islam would go after Belal leaving the 170 title, because Belal had some little beefs with everybody because, that's what he had started doing. Because before Belal was a champion, everybody was giving him no respect.
Mm-hmm.
But now he became a champion, he got redemption back on a lot of people. So he was creating little instigation type scenarios with the different bunch of fighters. So I was hoping if he had won, which was what I was hoping he would do, that maybe he'd go up to 185 and then Islam can go up to 170 was what he wanted. So for me, it was the ideal situation, because had Islam not had that opportunity to go up to 170, then it would have been him and Topuria, because that would have been the only match to really make for the UFC. But because, Belal lost, then now there's another match for Islam that enticed him because he wanted that match. Islam would have ended up having to fight Topuria had that not happened, because what other option would he have had? The UFC wasn't going to put anybody else other than Topuria, but Islam, in his mind, he felt that he should win one more, because for him to have beaten, another featherweight would have been just that. It wouldn't have been a big deal for him, but for him to lose to a featherweight, but monster hit on his career, and as far as his standing, and that's not something that any fighter would want. But, it wasn't a situation of anything that he got greener pastures. Just like if you think of Ilia, he dropped his featherweight title because why? He wanted to go up to the lightweight title, which you can't blame him, because now he's doing something great, right? But, what he didn't do that Islam did is he more or less broke the record for the lightweight title defenses, and Topuria didn't do that. He won a great fight against Max Holloway, and he won a great fight against the former champ, who's the champ now, Alex, but he didn't clear out the division. So it wasn't like, Islam's supposed to wait for him. No, he wanted greener pastures for him. They're more fruitful. There's something that really challenged him. So 170. So let's see where we're going to go with that. But at the same time, too, in my opinion, we got ourselves into a really, really, really tough fight. Jack it's no easy fight. It's a very, very tough fight.
I mean, when people say that Islam left because he's running from Topuria, That sounds, I mean, I don't know how to even describe it. Why would you leave somebody smaller to go fight somebody bigger if you're that type of guy who's scared? You can't be that person. You know what I mean? If he's scared of Topuria, who's like a fantastic striker, a small fantastic striker, to go fight a big fantastic striker, like, doesn't make sense. Like, he's going to fight a striker who's actually twice the size of Topuria. Like, what's going on?
Well, if you look at my Helen Yee interview that I did years ago,
Yeah.
when you know, we were talking about defending the title, I said he was going to break the record for defending the lightweight title. Once he's accomplished that, I go, if an opportunity comes up to one welterweight title, that's what he would want to do, because that challenged him. Because we had that conversation where he told me, Coach, you know, my goal is to, you know, win the more titles here in the lightweight division, defend the title more. And then after that, if a welterweight title comes up, I want to do that. I want to be double champ, you know. And I said, that's a great plan. So this is what's been on stake for him before we even knew who Topuria was. So it had nothing to do with him. It's zero to do with him. It had everything to do with what Islam wanted and the opportunities that presented themselves. And unfortunately, at that particular time, Belal was the champion, but Islam still needed to accomplish the goal of having the most title defenses. So, but once that was done, now it's like, let me go up if I can.
Yes.
So
yes.
that was the deal there. That was the deal. That's why a lot of waiting was done. No decision was made by anybody until the Belal fight happened, because at the end of the day, I cannot honestly say that they would never have fight, because I don't know 100%. What if Belal says, you know what, Islam, let's put everything aside. You and I are brothers, but this is a sport. It's a competition. You want something, we want something. Let's make something big. I don't know if that would have happened. I'm not saying it would have, but I'm saying we don't know. Only thing I do know is that Islam wanted all along 4 to 5 title defenses successfully,
Yes.
then get the welterweight title. That's what he wanted, and that's what he's getting. So he more or less projected this many years ago before, right after he won the title is when he told me this.
Yes, 100%. I'm not biased. I'm not. I've never met Islam, so I'm not going to be biased by any form. And I had to think about it between me and myself. Is there a chance that he doesn't want to face Topuria, and that's why he's going to the welterweight? And after thinking about it multiple times, the answer is no. Because why would he leave an opportunity to make more money fighting Topuria, an easier fight, which is Topuria, than Jack? Because Jack is big and Jack is a great striker. So why would he leave the easier option where he would make more money to go somewhere where it's less money and it's more challenge? But it's just because he wants to be a double champ. He wants to be a 2-division champion. And that's it. It's not about money to him.
No, it's not about money. It's about the challenge. And Topuria is the same thing. I don't blame him at all for what he's doing. He's doing
the right move.
He's doing the right move. And he's going to, you know, I believe he's going to be the favorite going into that fight with Oliveira, you know, and, you know, let's see what happens. You know, it's going to be a great fight to watch, but I believe that Ilia should be slightly favored, you know, if not bigger, slightly favored. I don't see Oliveira being the favorite in that one. So it doesn't mean that the respect level for Oliveira is not there. It just means the wrecking machine that Topuria has been doing is coming to the lightweight division. But that's zero to do with anything and why Islam went, because it was planned already. If you listen to my interview, you already see it. I already had said it. So who was Topuria back then? We was nobody back then for us to look at, oh, we're avoiding this guy. You know, no fighters avoiding anybody. So every time I hear, oh, he's avoiding me, he's afraid of me, no fighter's afraid of
it. It would make sense if it was actually, if the fighter chose an easier fight. And I would give an example of John Jones avoiding Tom Aspinall, and he fought Stipe Miocic, which was obviously the easier route. And he took that route. So that was a clear indication of somebody avoiding somebody. But when it comes to Islam, he didn't avoid Topuria for an easier fight. He avoided Topuria for a weight class heavier than he is, with somebody who's heavier than him, a stronger striker.
Yep.
So it's not an avoiding situation.
Well, it's like this. It wouldn't have mattered if it was Topuria, if it was Volkanovski, if it was Max Holloway, or if it was anybody else in the featherweight division. A featherweight is not something that was on his radar. He did not want to fight another featherweight because what's in it for him? What is in it for him? What's he going to win by beating another featherweight? What's in it for the featherweight? Everything. He loses his number one pound-for-pound status, you know.
It's a good money fight. We can't deny that.
Well, money fight isn't what Islam is about.
That's it.
You know,
that's what we know, that it's to him, it's about legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he could very well be offered a lot less money to fight Jack than he did to fight Ilia.
I think pretty much it should be on paper.
Probably.
Because Jack is not as big a star as Topuria.
No, but he's a bigger threat for Islam.
100%.
You know, if we as coaches think Jack is easier, we're stupid.
Yeah.
We are very stupid. Then we didn't watch the Belal fight, because Belal can take a hell of a shot. He can take a hell of a shot, and he took him. And he gave him two. Belal gave him two. So it was a war. That fight was a war. And you know what? For us to think it's an easy fight for us, you know, what kind of idiot coaches are we? Khabib's not an idiot, and neither am I. And neither is Magomed, neither is Saif Safullah and Muhammad, the other coaches that they work with Islam. We're not stupid. We know what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a much bigger guy, and just as dangerous, if not more dangerous, in different variations. Not boxing, because I think Topuria's got the best boxing in the business. I still believe that. But Jack is well versed in the kicking and the arsenal, how he mixes it up. He's really good at head and body, leg, everything. He's really, really good at that. So we have our hands cut out for us. It's not an easy fight at all. If Islam, by some miracle of a chance, makes that fight to be like slam dunk, it's because we were properly prepared, or Jack wasn't as prepared, or Jack was injured, or Jack just got caught. But it's gonna be one of those fights. It's not easy. No way in hell is that fight gonna be easy. Very tough fight.
So we spoke in the past about Islam's ability to roll and spar heavier people. And there was a situation where he was sparring Luke Rockhold once in your gym. And you told Rook to take it easy. And then next thing you see is Islam throwing him up in the air. And you're like, what's going on? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, what happened is I never allowed Islam to spar Luke, because Luke hits pretty hard, and Luke is super talented. And I would tell, I know that we didn't have enough sparring, I believe, at that particular time for Islam. And I told Luke, Luke, don't go out on him. You know, this and that. So they sparred. Next you know, Luke gets swept, bam, and on his butt. And I'm like, okay. So I said, Luke, did he actually throw you? He goes, yeah, he threw me. I went, son of a gun, are you kidding me? He goes, no. But let's be fair. I told Luke, do not go out at him. Do not. Because I didn't want that. It's not that Islam couldn't have handled it, but I told Luke not to. You know? Because I don't want that. I don't want to take that chance. Luke hits very hard. He kicks very hard.
Yeah.
And if Luke had bad intentions, you know, I don't know what could have happened. You know, if it was just ground, if they were just working on the ground, to go for it, no problem. But the stand up, Luke's a hell of a striker. He's a really good striker. When he's on, he's freaking on.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that. But yeah, you know, I thought maybe Luke was going easy and he threw him. So I asked Luke. Luke goes, no, Javi. He threw me. Wow. I go, okay. So yeah, that's strong. So that's how good Islam is on his throws. Very unorthodox compared to all my other guys. But he learned from Habib's father, you know, some great throws, and he utilizes them really well. Better than Khabib, better than Usman, better than all the guys. He's got those leg trips, and I mean, he'll do the judo trip on somebody. He'll flip them on their head. I mean, He's amazing. He's amazing. And like I said, you know, he sparred heavier guys, you know, on his own, where I watched Islam spar heavier guys, and I'm like, just shaking my head. Why are you sparring this heavyweight? You know, the heavyweight was not as experienced as him, and he didn't hit him, but he's still a heavyweight. And I just afraid that guy could land a good shot on him. And he goes, no, coach, it's okay. I go, no, it's not okay to me. You know, because I don't want you getting hit by that. That's the same reason why I told Luke, don't hit him hard. You know, I believe Luke might have sparred him one more time. Again, I told Luke, don't hit him hard. Do not. And then he threw Luke again. But this time I already knew that, okay,
and Luke is huge.
Yeah, Luke's about 210 pounds, 207 pounds when they were going. But that's how good Islam is, you know. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, Luke could have went all out. I don't know what would happen, because I didn't allow it.
Yeah.
And if I saw Luke put on some steam, I would have said, hey, chill out. So that didn't happen. But what did happen, the grappling exchanges, that was real.
Yeah.
That was real. That was real. So there's nothing that I'm going to say, oh, no, Luke let him throw. No, because at first I thought.
Yeah.
But then it looked real. Then I asked Luke, he goes, no, he threw me up.
Wow.
So
Amazing.
that's how good he is. On the real striking, let's go out in a real type sparring situation. I don't know, because Luke did used to spar with heavyweights.
Yeah.
You know, he used to spar with DC quite a bit, and he did go with Cain on a couple occasions. One occasion he went with Cain, and he was looking at us like, "You guys crazy." So after the first round was over, because Cain puts a lot of pressure on you, Luke did really well in the first round because he's moving really well. He's moving really well, but then Luke got tired, so we were gonna go one more round. Luke's looking at us like, "Well, you guys are crazy." Flew out, jumped out of the cage.
Wow.
He jumped out of the cage. No, screw you guys. I gave him one round. I ain't giving him no more rounds. I mean, because he's smart. He goes, I'm too damn tired. This guy keeps coming. He's not slowing down, and I'm slowing down. There's no way that I'm going to get in there with this guy, So Luke was an incredible, talented guy. But he had his own mind too, and you weren't gonna dictate what he was gonna do.
Yeah.
He's gonna dictate what he's gonna do and what he's not gonna do.
Yeah. Luke is that guy for sure. Yeah.
He still is. He's still a guy that, in my opinion, should be actually one. He is definitely a world champion and definitely Strikeforce world champion. Definitely a great athlete, one of the greatest that I've ever trained. But I think his potential was not fulfilled completely. It was fulfilled to some degree because he was a world champion, a two-time world champion, the Strikeforce and UFC. So it was fulfilled. So him reaching greatness like I thought he could do when he first came to me, he did accomplish that. But I personally felt that Luke Rockhold could have been even greater than that. It's just in the same field as Cain Velasquez didn't quite reach his full ceiling either. Yes, Cain was a two-time UFC champion, and yes, it was a great accomplishment, but I thought Cain could have been the greatest of all time, and there was a lot of things that happened that shouldn't have happened, that partly my fault, partly everybody's fault. Everybody had a fault to do in Cain not reaching his full potential.
What do you think these things are?
Well, the number one thing is Cain Velasquez doesn't have a stop button. Does not have a stop button. And me as a coach, idiot that I was, I didn't realize that this guy needs to be held back because you tell him do this, do that, he's going to do that. And his body gets tired. And when your body gets tired and beat up the way it does, then you start breaking down, So I didn't think nothing of it because this guy had incredible cardio. But then as time went on, he started getting injured. I said to him, I go, Cain, I'm really confused on why you getting injured. I go, did you ever get injured in wrestling? He goes, no. I said, whoa, wait a minute. So my brain started thinking, why is he getting injured doing this if he didn't get injured in wrestling? Wrestling is a very, very demanding, grueling physical sport. So why didn't he get injured? And I'm thinking, they don't train as much. They don't put as much time. Their body doesn't get run down as much.
Yes.
So that's when I started thinking, damn it. I go, my screw up. Another thing too that Cain used to say, he'd come to the corner and goes, I'm hot. I go, chill down. Don't worry about it. Just relax, do this and that. He goes, I'm hot. And I'm like,
in the fight, in between rounds?
Sparring, not the real fight. It's sparring. I'm hot. I'm like, well, just do this. And then it wasn't until a little while later, he goes, Hob, you're not getting me. I go, what do you mean? You said you're hot. I said, chill out. He goes, no, I'm hot. I'm boiling. I go, oh. So I used to pour water on him to chill him out. So what is that doing? His engine is overheating, So all those things now, thinking back now, add up. And now, if I'm thinking me back then as his coach, I'm an effing idiot. I'm an idiot. I should have picked that up. And there was a lot of things, like I said, we're all to blame and his not meeting the greatest, because I think he should have been the greatest heavyweight of all time. I think at one particular time there was nobody that could ever beat this guy. Still to this day, I look at him at his best, and I still don't think anybody could have beat him when he was at his best. But it was the downfall to coaching. It was the downfall to many elements around himself too. So, I have to live with that, and I've told him it's my fault. And he goes, no, he's very accepting. But I said, no, I know I'm to blame for some of the downfall in that, because
but you didn't personally push him.
No.
So how can you blame yourself?
No, because you're as a coach, you're supposed to know these things. Even if you don't know them, you're supposed to know them.
But if you were pushing him, like for example, the David Goggins style, is you have to go above your limit. That's where you can blame yourself, because you pushed him over his limits, but you didn't know.
No, I never pushed him to that limit, but
Yeah.
you're also supposed to know what your fighter's doing. You're also supposed to know is, hey, how come you're tired? How you feeling? You're not asking these questions. That's on you. The David Goggins thing is extreme. That's extreme. Okay, that's easy to pinpoint out. Any good coach will tell you that's stupid. Don't do that unless you really want to bring your mind to another level. But your physical cannot continue to do that without breaking. You cannot do that type of training if you're going to do an MMA sport, because you will break. You will break. Your body will break. But if you do that sport for like what they're doing to get the endurance and the mental capacity, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. But for competition, your body will break. Your body will break. And it won't perform at this highest peak potential if you continue to do that type of training. For the mental part, it's probably a fantastic thing if you feel you need to work that. But the way I look at something like that is, if you're meant to be a champion, you're going to be a champion. You don't need to work that mental that strong. I don't think you do. A champion rises no matter what.
You're right. And I respect the fact that you're taking ownership and saying that it's part of your problem. I mean, that's what shows the difference between a leader and a great leader, is the one who takes ownership in his mistakes. But I honestly can't say it's you, because it's him. He should know when he should stop. He can't feel what he's feeling. You don't know what pain he's going through, so he should be more open about it.
Granted, I agree with what you're saying, but the coach I am now, I was coaching him back then.
Yeah.
It would have been a different story.
So now you can look at one of your students and be like, this guy is tired.
I can look at my mistakes and I can fix them. Now I can. Back then I couldn't. So that's why I blame myself, because I didn't learn it quick enough. How can I put it on him? He didn't know any better. All he can do is listen to his coach, listen to what they're telling him. He listened to every single coach that spoke to him and had advice to him. He never said no to nobody. He did something. You told him to do that, he'll do it. He'll go out and do it. That's who he was. He was so coachable. It was ridiculous. With him in the corner, he's one of those guys that I would say, switch this, switch that. He would do it right as I'm telling him. He was like Islam Makhachev in that regard, where if we give him instructions, he will do it. He would do it. But the one problem was we would do it when his body was run down. So who's to blame for that? We are. Me, specifically me, because I'm the head coach. And if the other coaches are running him down, I should have stopped it. And I didn't. I didn't pay attention to it, because I figured this guy's got cardio for days. Hey, he could do this, he could do that. Yeah, he does have cardio for days, but his body is only one body. It can only go so far.
So do you have the ability right now to look at a student and figure out what they're feeling without them being verbal about it, or or it's too difficult to tell?
No, I can figure it out now by looking at them, because I pay more attention and I can look at somebody and go, okay, if I just see you 3 minutes ago doing fantastic and you're in great shape, doing sparring, and then I see you a couple minutes later struggle. You're struggling just to do something. I'm thinking, okay, what went from really super high to really super struggle? And I'm telling myself only one thing. Your cardio is good, okay? You had enough time to rest in between sets. Your body's being beat up, or you're thinking about something else. Something is wrong, so you need to talk and say, what's going on? Tell me, are you tired? Are you this? Are you thinking about something? What's going on? That's a coach's responsibility. I know it's much different than other people do, and it's high level.
Yeah.
But I wasn't high level. Now I can do that. Now I can look at somebody. Now I can tell them, do this, do this, do that. And I can advise my other guys. Like I do that with Khabib now. I advise him. I tell Khabib, He goes, yes, coach, because Khabib is like the greatest listener on advice that's given this the right advice.
As a coach or as a fighter?
No, as a coach, he's fantastic. He is fantastic. As a fighter, I thought he listened to me, 50% of the time. He didn't listen half the time, blah, 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 blah. Well, we had this conversation, him and I, and he goes, no, coach. He goes, I listened to you more than 50% of the time. I go, oh, it didn't seem that way because you had your own idea what you want. He goes, no, I listened more. So he did listen to us. And I'm going to bring this out too, because this is my first time talking about it in the truth, because people have asked me on that choke that he had on him where Conor tapped. Mm-hmm. And I said, Khabib, I've been telling people that interview me, I've been saying that you didn't want him to tap. You wanted to keep punishing him. And I go, am I right? He goes, no, coach, you were wrong. I go, I'm wrong? He goes, yeah, you were wrong. He goes, I wanted him to tap. Earlier on, no, I wanted to punish him. But at the very end, I wanted him to tap. And if he didn't tap, his jaw was going to get broken. And I said, well, I know that, but I go, but you wanted him to tap. He goes, no, so I wanted him to tap. I said, So I learned, so for those interviews I've done in the past.
Did he say like he wanted him to sleep? Like literally don't tap, just go to sleep?
He wanted to break his jaw. He wanted to hurt him. He didn't want, but he wanted to stop the fight is what I'm saying.
Okay. He wanted him to submit.
He wanted him to submit. I thought he just wanted to basically keep punishing him. Keep punishing him. Do the choke, let it off, then beat him again. But no, he wanted to finish the fight. Yeah. So in other words, that's what I'm trying to say. I thought he wanted to punish him, but no, he wanted to finish the fight, and therefore he did finish the fight. And had he not tapped, he said, had he not tapped, I would have broken his jaw, just like Hamza did with Robert Whittaker. Yeah. It would have been the same thing. The same thing. And Khabib is strong enough to pull that one off. Maybe not as quick as Hamza did it, because Robert's jaw, according to what I heard, had been broke before. Yes. And that's why he has a gold teeth, so he doesn't show the scars. Yeah. But regardless, Hamza still would have broke his jaw too, with that move. So that move is a finishing move, and it's a little rude awakening for me, because I'm supposed to be so-called expert, but I'm not a so-called expert on the ground, I'm not, and I don't claim to be. What I am really good at is game planning and understanding how we can win, what we need to do to win, and how to lead. I am really good at that. But as far as the technical aspect, shooting for a double leg and yeah, right.
Okay, I just want to circle back to the idea of you evolving as a coach, and you said there's some things I would do right now that I haven't done in the past. But I've seen scenarios in my own eyes that the fighters don't even communicate that much. And I want to bring an example to you of your student Omar when he was fighting Merab, when he broke his left hand or right hand, I don't know, one of those.
Right.
Okay, and he didn't say it. So I'm saying it's like, okay.
It was left. I think it was left.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. You're confusing me now. I know it's this one, right?
Okay.
It was yeah. I'm like,
yeah. So as a coach, you evolved. You're ready to listen to your students and adapt. But what do you do when your student is not even disclosing something with you? It's like, come on, it's a two-way street. You have to talk.
Okay. So this is advanced coaching. Okay.
Yeah.
It happened at the moment. Okay, when I had Khabib trained for, let's say, the Conor fight, I told him 2 months out. I told him 2 months what Conor was going to do. I told him about the family thing. I think he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I prepared him for all of that, okay? When he fought Justin Gaethje, I told him Justin Gaethje is going to come after your leg, going to come after your leg, going to come after your leg. So we continuously worked drills to avoid the calf kick, okay? Because I knew that was going to happen, okay? With Umar, I picked up that Umar gets tired and doesn't say nothing. He's hurt and doesn't say nothing. I had picked that up. I didn't drill it in him to let us know whatever goes on. Let us know. Let us decide. Let us figure out if we have to change the game plan. That's an error in my part, again, because if I had learned that, then I could have told it to him, just like I did telling the Khabib beforehand. So that's a learning experience for us. So yeah, do I take the blame? Yeah, I should take the blame, because you know what?
Coach, come on.
But listen, this is the thing. If you don't take the blame, you're always going to use excuses as, oh,
It should
it's
be a
not my
healthy
fault.
relationship with it.
But the relationship should have been established better. If you're a better coach, you should already had that with him, where he should tell you everything and be comfortable knowing that you're going to do the right thing for him. You know, DC did the same thing, where DC fought Josh Barnett, and it was a hell of a fight. Josh Barnett was flying everywhere for the heavyweight title tournament that they had in Bellator, and DC did unbelievable, and Josh Barnett broke his hand, and I was like, oh my God, you see Josh Barnett broke his hand? And DC's like, yeah, I know, I broke mine too. And I'm looking at him, what do you mean you broke your hand? He goes, yeah, I broke my hand. He shows broke his hand. I go, why the hell didn't you tell? He goes, because you dudes weren't going to stop this fight. And I'm like, which is true, you know. And I'm not saying we would have stopped the fight, but I'm saying we could have adjusted. You know, I'll give you a perfect example of adjusting. Josh Thompson, when he fought Benson Henderson in the UFC, Josh Thompson, and I believe it's the first round, his thumb all the way back here. Josh was jacked up. He couldn't do nothing with that thumb. We encouraged him. We pushed it. We didn't have him use that thumb as much, but we helped him. We helped try to guide him to a victory, which I thought we did win. I really do. Still to this day, I thought Josh won that fight, but we didn't get the decision. But again, Josh let us know, I broke my thumb, blah,
But that's
blah,
what
blah.
I'm saying, Coach. Don't they have to say?
They have to say, but
They have to play their part.
But you have to know who they are. Some are not. Some are not. Some are not going to tell you what they want. Some you have to figure out. That's the job of a
It's their
coach.
job as well to be a student.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's your job to let them know that. It's your job to let them know that. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. With the Umar situation, when he's getting ready for a fight, and all of a sudden he's doing great, and all of a sudden he's hitting the ground and pounding. He's freaking tired. And I said, Umar, come here. Stop. He goes, no, coach, I have to finish. I go, no, you have to stop. I go, why, coach? Why? I need to finish. I go, no, you don't need to finish. Your body's beat up. Why do I have to pick up something that you should be telling me? You should be telling me that you're really tired. Then I can decide, do 1 round, 2 rounds. But here you're going to continue to go, and I see you struggling. No, your body needs a rest. Do not push yourself. So he goes, no, coach. I said, yes. And he goes, okay, I have to listen to you, so because he's that way. Umar this is the greatest. He goes, I have to listen to you.
Was this in sparring or it wasn't?
No, it's after sparring. He was Ali, the great manager that he is, put him on to do ground and pound. Ali's fantastic. I love that guy. But anyways, Ali put him on ground and pound, and I'm watching him. And after round and a half, I said, stop. And I said, Umar, you're tired. He goes, no, I can finish. I go, look. It should never come to the point where your coach looks at you and sees you're tired and stops you. You should stop before I stop you. And you should ask permission to stop and tell me the reason why. Then let me decide. But you should not push through it because you need a rest. So he goes, okay, my coach, I will listen. So blah, blah, blah. The next day, Umar calls me and he said, Coach, is it okay if I miss the evening workout because I'm really, really tired. I need sleep. I go, oh, I love you for that. Thank you. I go, yes, take a rest, you know. So that's part of the learning process, but I didn't do enough of that with him. There needs more. You know, and that's what we as coaches have to do, and we have to be able to understand that and not be the old coach I used to be. You know what used to happen to me?
What?
That's what happened to me. My fighter would lose. And someone would ask me a question, and I would say, well, I don't know. He knows what he's supposed to do. I don't know why he didn't do it. He didn't check. You know, leg checking. I said, he knows how to leg check. I don't know why he didn't leg check. Wrong answer. It should have been, you know, we're working on it. We're looking to make it better. You know, it's something that just happens. And even if you learn it properly, it doesn't mean you're not going to get kicked. It means you will get kicked. So here I am. Not allowing something to come at me, attack me as a coach. I'm putting it on my fighter. Bullshit. You know, and Josh Koscheck taught me that, you know, you should own up regardless. You're the coach, you know, and he is so 1,000,000% correct. I'm the coach. I should own up to it. It's my responsibility, not his. My responsibility is to protect my fighter, just like your child. It's your responsibility. They don't know any better. Yes. You're supposed to know better. So I learned from my fighters. I learn from my coaches' mistakes. I learn from people outside of coaching. I learn from everybody. I don't shut my mind off to anybody. But I used to put the blame on them. If they didn't do their job, I did my job. They didn't do their job. Well, if you're saying they didn't do their job, you did your job, and you really didn't do it properly, then you're wrong. You know, you have to be able to really look at a fighter and say, look in that mirror. And if you want to put the blame on somebody, blame it on you. Okay? But it better be a situation where you told your fighter get proper rest, proper nutrition. Okay, if you're injured, let us know. Make sure you get your running in. If we did all our checklist, all of it, then we shouldn't have to tell the fighter it's your fault. The fighter knows himself what went wrong and what needs to be adjusted. Or maybe the other guy is just better than you, and you have to accept that. That happens also. So as a coach, as you get experience, learn these things, and maybe some coaches will hear this podcast interview and they go, you know what? He's right. I blame my fighter. I told him, I teach him. I was there training for him. Not my fault. Well, sometimes maybe if you look beyond that and let your ego go away, maybe you'll go, damn it, I knew this guy needed encouragement. God damn it. I knew I should have told this guy that. I shouldn't just assumed. Or I shouldn't make him do what I want him to do, when knowing full well, if I allowed him to do what he wanted to do, he would give me a better performance. If we understand these things, we can become better as coaches, and we can have better fighters, we can have better relationship that can last forever, And yes, we can make mistakes, but we shouldn't put the blame on someone else, is what I used to do,
Coach, I get you. And have you heard of Jocko Willink? An ex-Navy, ex-Marine guy.
Jocko, I met Jocko.
Yeah.
I met him in San Diego.
And he has this book called Extreme Ownership, where as a leader, you should take ownership of your team. And it's his own learning and philosophy from whatever he learned from when he wasn't at the army. And whatever you're describing makes sense. But I'm just looking at it objectively, and I'm trying to think, yes, as a leader, yes, it's on you, but there are some situations where I am, as a person, I should take extreme ownership of my own actions. I cannot blame the coach for not telling him that I didn't break my arm in the middle of the fight or broke my hand. I should have extreme ownership as well. I mean, the coach is great and he's saying, yes, it's on me, but in reality, then everything is on the coach. All the problems are on the coach. It doesn't work that way. It's not everything's on you.
That's why I said you have a checklist. Did my coach tell me to run? Did my coach tell me to rest? Did my coach give me the right sparring? Did my coach listen to me?
Yes.
If all those are checked, your ownership is you in the mirror, because that's the person you should be looking at. That's what I'm saying. So
can we agree that Omar should have told you it's his fault?
We can agree on that, but because I'm coaching, and we can also agree I didn't enforce it enough. We can agree on that 1,000,000%. That's why I'm saying I take ownership, because I should have drilled him more on that. I didn't drill him enough on it,
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. So no way am I putting that on that kid. No way. No, it's on me more than him.
Okay. Before we wrap it up, let's discuss. I don't want to discuss Islam and Jack. I don't want you to expose any game plan.
There's no game plan. We haven't started yet.
I mean, once
there's no game plan. We have not started yet. The fight's not signed yet, according to what I know. The date's not done yet, so there's no camp yet. Yeah. I mean, Islam is training like always, but I just seen him in dirt bike riding where he's an extreme adventure guy. So I don't think the fight is happening next month or anything like that. So
if he's taking huge,
he's enjoying. Yeah, if he's not allowed to do extreme sports while close to fight time. So there is no fight. So when is it? I don't know. We can look at. What are we talking? Everything's taken, right? So September's Mexico, October, November, December, January. So look at any one of those potential 4 months as when we get the sign in. And also, me saying this means zero. What matters more than anything is the UFC announces it on their website.
Yeah.
Match is done. It's done. Even if the manager, even if the opposition corner, even my corner says, "Oh, we're fighting," guys, don't believe anything.
Yes.
Only believe the UFC, because they're the ones running this organization. They're the ones that know. And who cares that you're the first one to leak it out? What, you got 50 more likes or 50,000 more likes than anybody else because you leaked it out first, but you leaked out wrong information.
But I mean, there is nothing to leak out here. Everybody knows.
No, everyone knows they're fighting, but
Yeah.
we don't know when.
No, we don't know when.
We don't know when.
We don't know when.
We don't know when or where, but we do know when it's not, because
Yes.
it's a pay-per-view event.
Yes.
Okay, so we know who's fighting in June. We know who's fighting in July. We know who's fighting in August, and there's no way, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and this is where I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It could be in Mexico. How does that make sense?
It doesn't make sense.
This makes zero sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense. So we're talking Abu Dhabi, Madison Square Garden, Las Vegas. I don't know where January is, but we're talking any of those three potential spots,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying I'm this expert that I know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's not been signed, because the UFC hasn't announced it.
Yeah. So, would you be comfortable talking about how do you see this fight playing out? Or I don't like to talk about these things because it doesn't. I don't want you to discuss potential.
Yeah, we can discuss it, because I discuss it with everybody else, and
Okay.
I don't see it any other way than a 5-round grueling war that we're going to win every round. That's it. That's the only thing I would say. I would not predict the knockout. I would not predict the submission, because it takes me out of the fight. And too much huge respect for someone like Jack. What he accomplished, what he did, the fight with Belal was very, very impressive. And Belal impressed me also. Super impressive. I thought Belal did not fight the proper game plan for his ability, but regardless, he fought like a freaking warrior, like no other.
Yeah.
I mean, gets his nose busted like that. He comes in, and let's face it, if you watch the fight and you there's a lot of close rounds, and if Belal would have won that fight, I would have been like, great, he won.
Yeah.
But the other way around too, I was like, yeah, they were just that damn close. They were that damn close. And so for me, nothing but huge respect for both of those guys. But it was Jack's, his decision. Allah supported him in this fight, and let's see what happens. But we're prepared for a 5-round grueling war.
You've said in one of these interviews in the past that you believe that Islam can outstrike Maddalena, but you would prefer takedowns to avoid repeating Belal mistakes.
Correct. I would prefer that. But let's see what we can or can't
But
do.
do you actually believe you can outstrike him?
I believe he can. I've seen it. I've seen him do so amazing. Not to Jack, but also, I believe Jack can knock us out too.
Yes.
It's
a dangerous game.
It's too dangerous. He's got dangerous kicks, dangerous hands, and he's not easy to take down. He's got the whole everything wrapped up. His ground game's very good too. He's got a very good camp behind him. He's got Craig Jones who's helping him in the jiu-jitsu end of it, and he's a great coach in jiu-jitsu. So he's got great people behind him.
Yeah.
So trust me, we're prepared for probably Islam's potentially toughest opponent ever.
I mean,
that's what we need.
I think so, because his coaches, as we're speaking, they're preparing for this fight, and his coach came out straight away after his fight, and he said he believes and he's so confident about this matchup, and he's saying that he's been studying Islam and Poirier fight closely, and he was pinpointing where is the gap and where he can capitalize on it. I mean, the mental war has already started, I feel.
Yeah, it has, but for me, I will not be engaging with the coaches or Jack. I would just be stating the things I feel, but I won't be predicting any knockouts. I won't be predicting anything other than we're going to win. And that's what I always do. We're going to win. We're going to win every round. And that's the way, I want to keep my mind, and no shots against any coaches, no shots against anybody. It's just, that's how I am with all my fighters. My objective goal is to win every minute, every round, and every second, you name it. We want to win. That's the goal.
Yeah. So let's talk about Charles and Topuria. I mean, we can talk more about that, and
that's a very interesting fight.
Yes.
On the inside of the middle, you got Charles with those great knees and great height. and great length, so there's danger there. There's Charles got dangers. He's dangerous on the ground with Topuria, but Topuria is no joke on the ground either. He's got a very good ground game. So you cannot think that if he takes you down, if he takes Charles down, that that's over for Topuria. No. There's submission threats.
If
There's submission
Topuria takes Charles down, it's over for who you said?
Don't think it's over for Topuria. He has a good ground game. It's not over. It could be over for Charles because he can put some heavy damage on him. So what I'm saying is this fight's extremely competitive, and on the inside, striking, it's going to be who's got the better knees, who's got this, who's got that, who's got the height. Charles. So Charles got better knees, got the height, got the reach. Who's got the better chin? Topuria. Who's got the better boxing? Topuria. Who's got the better takedowns? Topuria. On the ground, as far as better jiu-jitsu and all that, okay, that's an unknown. We just know they're well versed. So I'm just saying, don't think that the ground game is
we can't say it's unknown since Charles has the record for the highest.
With each other, fighter versus fighter. I'm not saying that Charles has all these submission wins, so he's better than Topuria. We don't know because they haven't fought each other. We have to let them fight each other to decide who's got the superior ground.
But if we had to guess,
if I had to guess who has the better ground, I'm gonna go slightly Charles.
I mean, same here. Charles on his back. I mean, on his guard. There's no way. Nobody's as close to him. I mean, I'm not worried of Topuria taking Charles down. Not at all. I think that's where he flourishes.
That's an advantage for him.
Yeah.
But on the stand-up, there's
I think Charles is great too with his tight clinches.
He's good. He's really good. There's no cakewalk. There's no cakewalk. But if he makes it look like a cakewalk, it is still no cakewalk. That's because he trained hard for it, And I know it's a fight, man. It's a fight. It's a fight. And Charles, I love Charles. He's one of my favorites. I root for him all the time, and I'm rooting for him on this one also. I'm rooting for him because I've always liked him.
Yes,
I've never gone against him because I like the way he acts. I like his mannerisms. I like how respectful he is, and I like how he comes to war. Charles Oliveira, I'm a fan. Ilia, I'm a fan of his in the way he handles himself, what he says. I'm not too fond of some of the words he's mentioned as of lately, but before that, he's been nothing but perfect in his words, vocabulary and what he says, but a few things he might have said maybe crossed the line. But other than that,
do you remember something?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about what he said, but he said a few things that maybe he should have held back, because respect, talk to the fighter, this and that. But certain fighters, they should have that code that I'm going to fight you, so this and that. But I don't like when some things come out that just creates animosity.
When they try to sell the fight too hard.
Like, I'll give you an example. The things that I'm not a big fan of. Okay, there's this reality show that's happening in Phuket, Thailand.
Oh yeah,
and it's John Jones is one of the coaches, and
Nate Diaz
is the other coach, and the stuff was happening there where they're showing these guys fighting all the time. And I look at on Instagram all the time, and these guys are legitly fighting. They're legitly fighting, and I'm going, what the hell's going on here? I don't want to watch these guys erupt. It shows violence the way like that. It's not traditional. It's not martial arts style. It's like, we're a thug. And then this last one, Jake Shields got a video where he's posted out there, and it shows Jake sorry, Jake. It shows Jake in a fight, and it shows these camera guys attacking Jake.
Oh my!
Yeah, and I'm like going,
that's disgusting.
What the hell? It's like, okay, fine, fighters fight fighters, but you guys work for the organization. You're attacking Jake?
No.
Oh, brother. I'm like, come on. It's out there. I'm not talking shit. It's out there. The video's out there. It's on Jake's thing. I saw it, like 30 minutes of this thing, and I'm fast forwarding a lot. And there's instigation of fights that are actually instigated. They're instigated. And this is something that, I don't know, maybe fans want to watch that.
I don't get it.
I personally don't want to watch that. I don't. So those kind of things for me, if I'm going to watch somebody start trouble, what message are you sending to the kids? What message are you sending to them? That it's okay to be like that? It's cool. It's cool to go out there and somebody and pick a fight on them. So then all these kids are going to look at people like that and emulate them. Next thing you know, there's a lot more violence happening because things is okay. I don't think it's okay. If you're going to fight somebody, this is a sport. This is a sport. Yes, it's entertainment first, sport second. I get it. But it's still, regardless, should not be, let's go right now. Let's you and I fight. Dude, let's do our verbal thing. Let's do our countdown. Let's train. Well, we can fight at the end. We don't need to prove how stupid we are here. What if happens if somebody accidentally gets hurt, hits his head somewhere, or someone gets cold cocked with somebody and they die? What then?
Yes.
What then? How smart are you then? To me, I'm sorry. I'm not for that. I'm okay with the build up. I'm okay with the narrative, build. But when you get here, you're fighting somebody here, and because it's a real deal, you get hit from the side, or you get tripped, or you get thrown on your head. I just look at one day when someone's going to get really hurt, and I'm not for that. So what I've seen in that, I wasn't too cool. And Jake Shields more or less said that him and Nate Diaz, they're out. They left. Yeah. Whether it was a ploy, just to get more attention, if that was what it was, it worked. But if it wasn't a ploy, everything Jake said would made perfect sense to me as to is too dangerous. If you got to watch out for the people that work for them, it's one thing to watch out for fighters, but it's another thing to have the people you actually are being filmed by or work with actually punch on you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, it's out there. So it's I'm not making this.
I know.
The video.
Yeah, it's honestly disgusting, and they're just forgetting the number. I mean, the two important rules of martial arts and what are martial arts about. It's about discipline and it's about respect, and they just took out discipline and respect out of this. So what are you doing?
Maybe they have a formula that's working for them and it's getting great viewership, brother. So if that's the case, more power to you. But I'm not going to be one of the viewers, because for me, if I'm watching this with my son, I don't want my son watching this.
Yeah.
And my son's becoming a good coach. If I'm watching this and my son's watching this and I'm looking at my son like, hey, son, see that was great. You see that shot from behind? He didn't see what was coming.
That's disgusting.
I don't want to see it.
No.
I don't want to see it. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in nothing. And it's a topic of discussion, because it's a topic of discussion of the things that I, as a coach, I don't approve.
I agree 100%. I think it's honestly, I don't know what's the right word except to say it's trash. It's there's just nothing to it. I don't understand how people get gravitated towards these things.
But people do.
But it's just a minority, and they seem like it's a lot, and it's honestly not a lot. Like, for example, with all due respect to Power Slap, nobody cares. I mean, it's just a group of, like a minor group that they're just interested in this Power Slap. But majority of the fans who enjoy martial arts do not like these kind of things, do not appreciate violence like that. Because Power Slap is just pure violence. There's no art to it. It's not martial arts. It's just violence.
No. And
it's not the same thing. They just ruin the sport.
Yeah. What I found out is what they don't do is they don't hit with the palm. They hit with this.
Okay.
So that means it's less danger. Here is very big danger. Here, less danger. So, but they still practice like crazy. I myself, I don't watch it, but
it's not a sport. It's not a sport. You're not defending yourself. It's not martial arts.
It's not a sport, but it's entertainment that people love. So, hey, leave it to the people that want to watch it, because obviously it's picked up on TV. So obviously there's a fan base for it. I know a few people that just absolutely
but that doesn't mean anything. I'm saying because there is fans, that doesn't mean it's good.
But that doesn't mean that they're not going to watch, and they're not going to be at a bar drinking beer with their buddies and enjoying the hell out of it because they love it. Look, listen, not everybody likes the movie Jackass, right? Nobody but that made so much money because why? They had these guys going doing these crazy, stupid things to themselves, and people just what the hell are they doing? Well, in a way, this is similar. Okay, it's similar because you're letting this guy actually hit you. You can't move your head, and he's got enormous power, and you're just gonna let it happen. So people I'm just not one of them. That's all.
I think majority of us who martial arts fans are not into it.
Probably not, but think about this. If it was such a negative thing, why would it be on television? Television is about making money. They're about making money.
And about negativity. People love negativity.
But people are paying. People are watching. Sponsors are sponsoring. So you and I, our opinion is one-sided, but then you got the other people. And I know some of these other guys, they absolutely love it.
Do you know anyone personally who...
Yes. Yes. They go, I get a kick out of it. And I go, really? They go, yeah, I love it, man. It's my favorite. I go,
Power style.
yes, they love it. I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock it. That's okay. That's your thing. And the competitors, if they love it, they love it. Paige Van Zandt, she loves it. Why is she competing in it? You know, why is she going to fight for it? I think she's going to fight for a title. So if they love it, they love it. I don't, but that doesn't mean I should, you know, the people, the fans. I mean, obviously, the business is a business. It's about making money. So if people are watching, that means the money's coming through. So that means, guess what? It's going to stay. You know, and it's approved by states. So it's legally approved.
I don't get that.
Well, I don't either, but I'm not knocking it because I don't like watching it doesn't mean that you know, people like it.
No, I get you, and that's the American in you. It's like freedom to everyone and stuff. But
Not the American me. This started in Russia. This
true.
is the Russian. This started in Russia. This whole thing started in Russia. And another thing too that Russia started, they used to do 2-on-1, 2-on-2. You know, they would do competitions like that.
they do crazy things.
Yeah, but now some of those crazy things they were doing are kind of filtering into other places. I just seen something like this. I think in Latin America there was 2-on-2, 2-on-2, and I'm like,
What do you mean 2-on-2?
two fighters on.
Yeah, I know, but
fighters
how? Like, I don't get it.
in the cage. Two.
Yeah. Okay, I thought power slap 2-on-2.
No,
Oh,
two,
okay,
two fighters
Yeah,
going
I've
MMA.
seen crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, but I've seen it in Latin America.
Yeah,
In Latin America, I've never seen that before. But there was two guys going in fighting each other. I'm like,
but that's it. I'm saying they're ruining martial arts. They're making it. They're making it like a thug thing. You know what I mean, a street thing. But it's not.
All I can say is
it's an art.
All I can say is thank God for me they have UFC because that's what I'm watching.
Yes,
That's it. That's what I'm watching. PFL, you're there too.
Yeah.
I'm watching you guys. Even ONE FC, I'm watching you guys. But all these other shows, that's not for me.
Yeah,
That's not for me. But you know what? You like hockey? I like basketball. You like soccer? I like American football. To each their own, you know, that's available to you.
Yes, coach, but that's not a sport. Power slap is not a sport. 2-on-2, 2-on-1. That's
At the
not
same
a sport.
time too. At the same time too. Can you honestly tell me any legit fighting sport is a true sport?
Fighting
Without
sport.
exception of boxing, amateur boxing. Amateur boxing in the Olympics, that's true sport because
Jiu-jitsu is a true sport.
well, I'm talking fighting like actual punching. You know,
Okay, punching. Okay.
Like, can you tell me the UFC is number one a true sport, or is it entertainment first, then sport?
Yeah, but it's very close to a sport. It's,
Yes. Boxing is too.
Yes.
But it's not a true sport because number one doesn't always fight number two. Never. Okay, never. It's rarely a situation you see in football. In baseball, it's always in NFL versus AFL for the championship.
Yeah.
NFL versus AFL for the championship. Well, in MMA and boxing, sometimes is the number 10th ranked guy fighting for a world title. Sometimes is number 15th.
Because it's prize fighting.
Again, prize fighting is entertainment. It's. I'm sorry, it's more entertainment first. Then it's a true sport.
Yes.
It is a true sport.
Yes.
I will never deny that. But I'm not going to say true sport first because that's the case. Then okay, you defend your title. You're going to defend against the number one mandatory challenger all the time, every single time, without fail.
Yeah.
But that never happens. Rarely. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
It does happen, but it doesn't happen
Often.
Okay. Sometimes it's the number 3 guy or number 4 guy. He fights for the title. It happens all the time in boxing. Happens all the time.
Yes, and boxing and the UFC, but nonetheless, it's still a sanctioned sport.
It's a sanctioned sport. You didn't say nothing about sanction. I said the true sport versus entertainment and sport. It's entertainment and sport.
Yeah, but that's why we love the UFC because it's a sport and it's entertaining at the same time. They do know how to make it entertainment. They know how to bring fights together. Yes, it's not always the number 1 contender, but maybe the number 5 is more interesting.
Well, that's why. It's entertainment. They're going to go, okay, what's going to make the most money? Who wants to pay for this? Okay, this is the fight I want.
Yeah.
So you can't blame them. They're as big as they are and as powerful as they are because they know the algorithm. They know what's going to sell, and they do an unbelievable job of making it work.
Yeah. Well, we've done more than an hour. Let's just end on that. Guys, please subscribe and
Subscribe.
This is your last chance to win the ticket to UFC Abu Dhabi. It's Robert Whittaker versus RDR. Yeah, what do you think of that guy?
I was kind of shocked what he did to Bo Nichols. He kind of demolished my train of Bo Nichols being at the end fighting Hamzat.
Yeah.
I thought for sure Hamzat and him were going to face each other at some point down the line when one of them was champion and this and that. Boy, he just took the air out of that one. I watched clips of that, and he need the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Hey, I guess the guy's 6'4". But no, he impressed me with the way he was throwing the knees, and Bo Nichols was coming in trying to box, and then the knee would come right up the middle, man.
Yeah, it was a great fight.
Yeah, this guy
became a fan.
And but I didn't realize that he was one FC champ too. I didn't realize that. I didn't know anything about him. I just knew he was super, super confident.
Yeah,
and maybe this was a wake-up call for Bo, and maybe he can rebound. Let's see. But that's definitely not something I was going to expect to happen, or did I want to happen.
Yes.
I like Bo Nichols. I wanted to see him rise to the cream of the crop and then throw a great fight. It's someone with the top guys. I was hoping to see him in a title fight before either he won the title or he lose the title, but in a great fashion. But for me, it didn't happen.
Yeah, no, he's still young. He will make a comeback.
Yeah, but I wanted to see the win or the loss, happen at a championship level.
Yeah. True. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, please subscribe over there as well. Your last chance to win the tickets. See you next time.
Last chance.